Well, after TLC pay-per-view, everyone wonders what will happen on the fallout on Raw after the TLC pay-per-view, or any pay-per-view at that matter. Well, Raw gets a brutally honest review from Extreme Wrestling fans. This is FWO.
Check the local list. Don't assume get gas, ride faster. Don't ride the future. It's the first round. And it's a fighting if you're in it. It's gonna get ugly just as soon as we begin until the last round. Left to right, I'm heavy-handed. After everything's landed, I'll be the last one standing from the first round. It's a fighting if you're in it. It's gonna get ugly just as soon as we begin until the last round. Left to right, I'm heavy-handed. After everything's landed, I'll be the last one standing. I'm Mr. First to get the game jumping, ain't nothing. Mr. Quick to trip and load the clip and start dumping. Sucker, say something. Mr. Trying to build $1 million out of plain nothing. Mr.'s gonna be successful, daddy ain't bluffing. I'm Mr. Quick to chop them one of a kind. A madman on the band till every one of them's mine. I'm Mr. No Look and honor amongst crooks.
I'm Chris Helix, and this is Future Wrestling Observer's review of the December 16th edition of Monday Night Raw. Tonight, we are going to show Orton's true colors. We are going to have 6 Diva action, and it's Raw active time. All this and more on FWO. Well, it was expected. What happens after a pay-per-view on Raw? We have rematches. We started off with the Rhodes taking on Big Show and Rey Mysterio in a 2-star match. Rey ends up pinning Golddust, but then, that's not where it ends, of course. They shake the hands of Golddust and Cody Rhodes, make sure Golddust is okay, but there was a weird ending to this match. Big Show hits Golddust with the KO punch, and then Rey tags in Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio gets up on Big Show's shoulders, and then he drops a dime off the shoulders for the pin on Golddust. And again, it was a good, solid 2-star match. And then we had Fandango versus Dolph Ziggler in this continuing rivalry. Ziggler pins Fandango in a 1.5-star match. So we had Mark Henry and Biggie Langston tagging again. Thank God, I really wanted to see this again. I think their official tag team name is, if WWE decides to keep them together, the World's Strongest Tag Team. They took on the Real Americans, and it was Biggie Langston getting the pin on Cesaro in this 2-star match. Then we followed that up with more tag team action. We had Ryback versus tons of funky, shitty bullshit. It was a 1.5-star match. Ryback ends up pinning Sweet Tea, aka Tensai, and then Brodus Clay decides to be a douchebag and, try to beat up his tag team partner, and R-Truth and Xavier Woods end up coming in because they were at the commentator table. They ended up coming in and saving Tensai, and then getting the Funkadactyls to come in and dance with them just to piss off Brodus Clay even more. And like I said, that was a 1.5-star match, and Ryback ends up picking up the win for Ryback. So CM Punk was involved in the Raw Active match, and it was the fans were deciding who was going to team up with CM Punk against the Shield, and it ended up being the Usos that got chose. And this match, definitely about halfway through the match, started picking up, got really fast-paced, got in, went the way anybody would expect in a 6-man tag, just action everywhere. Even the camera guys couldn't keep up. And it ended up being Roman to pick up the win. He ended up spearing and then pinning Punk in this 2.5-star match. And then we followed up 6-man tag with a 6 Diva tag with Alicia Fox teaming up with Tamina Snuka and AJ Lee against Natalya and the Bella Twins. And it was AJ Lee that ends up picking up the win on, I believe, Nikki Bella, I want to say. I'm not entirely sure. And that was a 2-star match in my opinion. So this next match was Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. And this match kind of developed right at the beginning of Raw. It was because John Cena came out and Orton was like, oh crap, he's going to ruin my ceremony and try to get a rematch. Wasn't that. John Cena pretty much got the match made between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. It was a good solid 3-star match. Daniel Bryan ends up picking up the win because Orton realized he couldn't win and just low-blowed the hell out of Daniel Bryan. And I gotta say, 3-star match, and I feel like WWE is starting to realize what the fans really want because they gave enough time for this main event. The main event didn't seem like it dragged on like most main events have in the past couple months since I've been doing reviews. But like I said, WWE's really picking it up, getting the ball rolling, and it almost feels now that WWE's starting to get almost an independent wrestling vibe again, or old school, whatever you want to call it. And I'll tell you later on my, I guess you could say, outro of my show, what I mean about that. So before I get to what I rated this edition of Monday Night Raw, I'll get to why I'm saying it feels like WWE is trying to do, go back to its roots as an independent wrestling company. And I feel like it because the next Raw has a name, you know, like what independent wrestling companies do, like WCWC and DOA Pro Wrestling. Even ROH does it, and if you consider TNA a independent wrestling company, they do it as well. They name stuff like they've got the Open Fight Nights, and another company had Halloween Havoc. I think that was DOA that did that. But yeah, next Monday Night Raw has a name or a title, kind of like Raw Country. But this title is a lot better, and I can't remember the title right now. I'll look it up later on, maybe put it as across the video or something. But yeah, that's why I say that WWE is getting its independent vibe back, and I think they realize that a lot of fans are fans of independent wrestling companies, so they're trying to play on the emotions of those fans. And also they're giving more time for main events, you know, instead of, 10, 15 minutes, they're giving them 20 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes. I wish the TLC pay-per-view's main event would have gone to the length it was supposed to. I could tell that John Cena wasn't happy with how short it was, because it wasn't supposed to be that short, but hell, when you fall off a ladder and smash your head on a table, it's gonna hurt, and WWE can't really get mad at him for not finishing the match like it was supposed to, and it ended up being 15 minutes short, roughly, I think is what they said. There's a couple other mess-ups in TLC, but this isn't the TLC pay-per-view review. That was before this one. That was episode 18 or 17 of FWO. But this, I'm guessing everybody's wondering, what did me, Chris Helix, rate Monday Night Raw, the December 16th edition? I rated it 2 stars. This has been a Future Wrestling Observer episode. I'm Chris Helix, and I will see you next time on FWO.